I saw all of y'all having lunch, and I was like, okay, hurry up, I need y'all back in here. Nice to meet you all. My name is Hayet Rida. I am a creative strategist at Meta, formerly Facebook and Instagram, and I'm also a creative influencer working in travel, fashion, lifestyle, and everything there. And today I'm joined by someone special. This is Ana Isabelle. First of all, I gotta break down who she is, because she's gonna be humble. Back in the green room, I was like, can you introduce yourself? And it was like, there's too much good stuff. So she recently starred as Rosalia in Steven Spielberg's Oscar-nominated West Side Story. So we're gonna give an applause after each thing. She's also working on her 4th album. Applause again. And she was also on the music reality show Viva la Sueño.
Viva el sueño. There you go.
Teaching me how to pronounce it earlier. Did I get it?
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, Ana, and thank you everyone for joining us.
I'm so happy to be here, to be part of this special event and to connect with all of you and to live this experience together.
Yeah, and so today how we're gonna play it is we're gonna have some fun chatting with each other, dancing between being on the other side of creator and influencer projects, but also experience on the other side on the platforms. So first of all, Ana, I know you've had experience with lots of brands when it comes to partnerships. So tell me about some that are successful and like what made them successful.
Well, wow, it's been a journey. I started my career when I was so young. It's not that I'm old. I'm still young, right? But I've had the privilege and honor to working with different brands, and I would say like one of the last ones was like this event that we're seeing the photos right here. It was a winter event in Times Square with an alcohol brand, and I felt so lucky and so blessed because it felt like an easy job in terms of like, they were looking for authenticity, they were looking for Latinos, they were looking for minority, they were looking for diverse representation. So to me, it was like, oh, great, I don't have to be thinking like, am I gonna like say the right thing? Am I gonna like, do I have to do this or that? It's just like about being me, being myself and represent my people. I was just like, it was about, I think a month or a few weeks before West Side Story was coming out in theaters. So it was really exciting to just like, finally, after seeing this reimagination of Steven Spielberg's, I'm gonna rephrase that. It was, West Side Story is a classic, right? So Steven Spielberg decided to do like this reimagination. So to me, being part of that film was just like super iconic, and it meant the world to me because I grew up watching the movie, watching the original, and only seeing one Latina in that movie, which was Rita Moreno. And this one of the highlights of this reimagination is that it's like all the sharks are Latinos. It's authentic. Like all of us are real Latinos, not like actors, even like painted dark to represent my community. So I back to the brand. It felt really nice to be able to represent my people and to know that a brand was looking for people like me to just go out there at Times Square and celebrate life, winter, alcohol. It was just such a last time. I was like,
sorry, did she just say celebrate winter?
I was like, man, like, can I have more of this? Like it was so great. And to me, it was success in every way. The event was rewarding, and all the moments of doubting myself, can I do this? Am I gonna be a good fit? Were put to rest because it was a celebration and it was a success. Like they were happy, I was happy, winning,
I think I'm gonna ask you a follow-up question for that, because a lot of times brands are thinking through, okay, this is what success is based off of KPIs of like, awareness, clicks, likes, saves, all of that. But also talk a bit about, as an influencer, how you measure the feeling, the emotional side of success, because you don't want it to be like you're just doing any brand campaign because somebody emailed you. And I think a lot of times brands forget to say, what is success for the influencer as well? Because if they feel good, then the content's going to be good, and then the audience knows this isn't just a paycheck, and then results come. So tell me a bit about how you measure that success internally.
I think it's, I'm aligned with what you're saying. It's about feeling, feeling that it was a good fit and that it goes in with my values, and that I'm not just selling something and just like, hey, faking it. But like, I think now we're in the era of being real and being approachable and accessible. So whenever I feel that I am that I can be useful for a brand is when I feel that, okay, I can be myself. I can portray their message with responsibility and joy, because people will connect with that. Like I think it's a balance between finding your voice with their voice and just like collaborate. I like the word collaboration a lot. I use it in acting, I use it in music, and I think we can use it here too for marketing tools and for like influencers and creator content. It's all about collaborating with each other and find that balance.
Yeah, and speaking of collaborations, you recently did one with L'Oreal. So how did that feel? We just talked a bit about authenticity. So how did that feel to represent your culture and your people, all of that?
This was a few years ago, and it was a really, really, really nice campaign.
Should we watch it?
Yeah.
Just so everybody has
Let's do that.
Okay, let's
I can check my bullets too.
La historia detrás de tu piel es un mosaico de todos los rostros anteriores.
Soy Ana Isabelle, nací en Caguas, pero resido en la ciudad de Nueva York. True Match resalta mi piel, captura mi color y lo realza. Actúa y se siente como si fuera una segunda piel. Soy puertorriqueña y mi tono es W6.
True Match, en 24 tonos de L'Oréal París.
Porque yo lo valgo.
Okay, I'm going to give you a round of applause because that was stunning.
Thank you.
So tell me a bit about just thinking from authenticity, representation. Just tell us a bit about what that campaign felt like.
I am just so excited that there's a door opening for artists like me, influencers like me. That I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, and I've worked a lot there. But when I moved here, I felt a little bit like out of place. Like there was a lot of like cultural clashing. I was so loud everywhere I go. And I just love that there is more space now for people like me to just express their own voice and just to be. And this campaign was really special because it was about 24 different women and what is beauty for us. With different skins, different skin color, different race, different backgrounds. And it was just so great to see that combination of women, and we're all beautiful in our own way, in our own skin, and be able to portray that. This campaign was seen in all Latin America, and I think in the States too, through social media. So I felt amazing. Again, it's about being true to who you are, and I think that will equal to success, expanding your possibilities or challenging yourself, but having an open mind of letting the brand influence who you are, influence you, but don't let them tell you who you are.
Love that. Yeah. And I mean, we're all gonna hear all the good stories, but I think y'all also came here for the juicy stuff. So you gotta tell us, without mentioning any brand names, I want you to get in trouble, because it's live. Hi, everybody, I'm live. So tell us about some campaigns that maybe didn't go as planned. Remember, no names. But you can hint.
Okay. I think I haven't had any failures as an influencer because I've avoided working with brands that doesn't feel like a good fit for me. It's not about, I think the key is avoiding not doing things because of money only. Of course, we need money, who doesn't? But I feel like when you work only for money, that's at least my motto, right? I want to do things that I enjoy and that makes me happy and that I feel proud of, and that I could just not only sell something to people that maybe will harm there or I can't represent. So I think I haven't had a big failure. Of course, there's some campaigns that you're like, man, I wish I would have done that better. Man, like, the quality was like, you know. But I think for me, if I just go with brands that are a good fit, I'll be fine. For example, that campaign was about fitness, and I love to work out. It's my therapy every day. But I've been learning with the years, and maybe that's something that we can associate with failure. Like I use in Puerto Rico, guys love the bathing suit photos. I imagine everywhere, but Puerto Rico, they don't care about being like. So there was a moment when I was based in my island, that you try to get to know your audience, right? And just also be who you are, but give them a little bit of what they want as well. So I was like, all about, I look hot, choo-choo. And then
start saying that.
But there was like this campaign, I rejected it, even though at that point I was like really fit. Right now, I had pizza with my parents yesterday, so I'm not that fit, I promise. Even though I work out, but I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling great, and I don't have a six-pack right now. Of course, if I have to play a role where I need that six-pack or like my whatever I need for my physicality, I'll work for it. And I like to say that to my audience, right? Like I like to spread the message of like, yes, be healthy, yes, work out, yes, feel great. It's important to take care of ourselves. That's part of like self-love. But at the same time, with that campaign, I rejected it because I was like, it feels a little bit too superficial to me. I need a twist of the message. Maybe I'm fit, but like in certain moments, I like to have fun, or maybe like even I'm beautiful no matter how I look, as long as I'm healthy.
Can I ask a follow-up question there? So when you get an email from a brand, I have things I review, but what did you see? Was it in how they said something on the brief? Was it in what was in the email? Just so like some brands will also understand, sometimes when influencers will reject, these are some of the considerations that they're looking at. So what was it that gave you that gut feeling that you said absolutely not?
I think there wasn't space to collaborate. It was like basically this is what can you guys see me? I feel so rude, like like I'm gonna try to just like do this for you guys.
Wait, you cover this side, I'll cover this side. You won't feel left out.
I felt that there wasn't space for collaboration. It was mostly like, this is what it is, like, do you want it? There wasn't even space for negotiation. So I was like, but no, mostly, I joke a lot. I'm sorry, guys. I think it's important to feel included, at least to me.
So what I'm getting is just don't tell you exactly, like don't give you a script, sort of give you an opportunity to tell your story.
Yeah, or even if there's a script, because of course, like everybody needs to know, everybody has a role. It's like in a movie. I have to listen to the director, right? I have to listen to the producer. It's a business, of course, we have to. But like, if you have an influencer that has their own audience and they have their experience and they have their career, listen to them, because there's an opportunity there for you to expand your mind, to maybe expand your business, and to reach out, to reach to a different audience. And I think at least you make the person feel validated too. It's about validation. It's not about like, I have the power, you are my, it's like, collaborate. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's fine. But maybe, who knows? Maybe there's an opportunity there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm done like pretending I'm Oprah. That was so much fun. I'm just gonna tell you. When I was young, I was like, I'm gonna be Oprah.
I think I want to ask you a question now, because you've also worked as a brand influencer, right? And you do it really, really nice.
Thank you.
So you must have, there has to be like an interesting point of view, seeing this type of relationships from multiple perspectives, right? So would you be open to chatting about an experience where maybe things weren't as successful with a brand?
First of all, I'm just gonna say brands are scared when they email me because they're like, okay, we're emailing the influencer who actually works at Meta. Oh goodness. And I'm the kind who you're gonna send me the brief and I'm gonna say, okay, can we get on a call? Then I'm gonna get on the call and I'm gonna say, I think you guys are using the wrong metrics. I think you guys are using the wrong, I had a brand once who came and, they said, we wanna promote a product and we want 2 in feed, 1 reel, and 3 stories. So I said, let's get on a call. And I said, what are your goals? And they're like, awareness. And I said, okay, so based off of my data, I drive higher awareness in stories than in reels. And they were like, oh, okay. And then I was like, let's rework it. I think the scope should change to this, this, this. And they were just like, no, this is what we've allocated and that's it. And I said, okay, well, I can't give you the results you're asking because I know which parts, which social platform are going to drive those results. So a lot of times I think how I'll measure success from working with a brand is also, are you setting me up for success, first of all? Because this is about to be a friendship. So if you're about to shoot me in the foot by trying to make me do something that I know I can't deliver on, then we have a problem going in. So I think a lot of times for brands, when you are reaching out to influencers, we've passed the point where people are posing with bottles to the side of them. We're kind of getting to the point where influencers are becoming marketers on their own. They're understanding the platforms more. They're understanding how their audience behaves and where. Depending on what platform you're on or which part of the ecosystem you're on, you'll know, like for me, if I want someone to buy something, stories, because I can put the link right there and they can click, if I want them to sort of learn about something, I'll do it more in feed or, let's say, for example, in reels. And I think a lot of times brands make the mistake of saying, it's not a conversation, it's, an order. This is what you're going to post. This is when you're going to post it, and that's it. So to me, that's how I'm just like, okay, this is not successful. So even on the flip side at Meta, when we're talking to brands, we're just gonna ask them, so first of all, what is the goal of using creators or influencers in this campaign? It can't just be you're using it because, I don't know, you found a little bag of budget and it's a cool word to say we have influencers on this campaign. You actually have to understand, why are you using them? What role are they going to play? How are they going to fit into this larger ecosystem of things that you're doing, just so that you can set the influencer up for success? So that's kind of how I define success and what I define as a failure. But yeah, I don't want to scare anybody, but you have to start treating sort of influencers and creators as if they are marketers on their own, because you don't have to have a title, going to marketing school to be a marketer. Google's free. We can look stuff up. So.
Yeah, that makes me think of the idea of perfection versus excellence. Mm-hmm. And this is something that I learned with my acting coach, who's the acting coach of really big Hollywood stars, Sam Rockwell, Emmy Rossum, and you name it. He talks about, like, when you aim for perfection, there's like you'll shooting yourself in the foot. Like you're aiming to just not being fulfilled, to just maybe have certain standards, and if you don't achieve them, you're gonna feel like failure. But when you achieve for excellence, it's just, you have your own standards and you're like, okay, I just wanna be excellent. I just want my campaign to be excellent. I just want this content to be excellent, not perfect, it's excellent. And how can it be that? You have to take in consideration the influencer. You have to take in consideration their message. Like, it's, like, again, collaboration.
And let me tell y'all a little secret. This is live, but anyway, I'll tell y'all anyway. Sometimes there is challenges where agencies or folks get too insecure about the quality of creator content. I have had situations where I filmed the video and the brand wouldn't let me post it because it was better than theirs. And I remember seeing an email that said, can you tone down how ad-like this looks? And I said, what is ad-like about it? And they said, it's too crisp. And I said, oh, so you want me to shoot it on my phone? And so there is a lot of this tension coming up as well between sort of brands as well as creators of, you want that authenticity, but creators are also stepping up their skill set. They're stepping up, how they edit videos. Now creators are hiring their own teams to make sure that they are telling your brand story in the most visually appealing way, because now you're putting stuff on the platform and you're just like, I want it to look as good as people are used to seeing stuff on TV. So those are also some of the things you have to remember, and that's where collaboration comes on, and they're not gonna get it it perfect. Even, I'm not sure how many agency folks are in here, but when a client gives y'all a brief, don't you have a couple rounds and you go back to the drawing table, but you can't expect creators to sort of, here's a brief, go make a content, and you're posting it tomorrow, so it better be perfect. There is no perfection in there.
And I think being organic it's more important than being perfect, right? Nowadays, it's incredible. Like I've tried it myself. Sometimes I just create like this awesome content in great like film, whatever, and then I post something in pajamas from my phone, like super organic, and there's like boom, a lot of views, a lot of likes, like which
people want to feel seen.
Yeah, and also like I don't think we should be like measuring success based on the views and likes, because like unfortunately, like people like the gossip or the bikini or the whatever, but that doesn't mean if they don't like it, that doesn't mean that they're not seeing the content. So yeah. So what's next?
Let's see. What are we going to talk about?
Okay, I have another one. I have another one for you. Okay, so I keep hearing these conversations, and this is a good one. I'm really, really interested in this answer about creators versus influencers.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I need to know. I was wondering from your perspective, like, what's the difference between these two?
Okay, we're going to do some low-key crowd participation. How many of y'all use it interchangeably? Like, it depends on the day. One day you'll say creator, one day you'll say influencer. Okay, cool. Well, I'm just gonna try and ruffle that a bit. So a lot of times, umbrella term, we're all creators on whatever platform we're on. But a lot of times when the brand is picking somebody who's, I'm just gonna say, somebody from the internet to tell your brand story, you gotta think of the two as different ways. So I think there was probably my favorite pictures to help explain. To the left side is being a creator. So that is every piece of content I put out, I'm writing scripts, I'm writing camera cues, I know transitions, I edit my own photos, I sort of sometimes capture a lot of them. I'm very creative forward. And then there's also folks who are influence forward. So how influencing actually works is it's based off of a psychological effect where if somebody sees someone like them, it's called a likeness effect, you'll feel comfortable. So again, if you're posting something in your stories and you're sharing a personal experience or you're saying, I failed at this too, there is something that goes off in the audience where they say, oh my God, I'm just like her, she makes me feel seen, she makes me feel comfortable, I'm going to do whatever she says to do. Based off of your goals, you have to ask yourself, sometimes as a person, so I toggle between both. Sometimes I'm a creator, everything just looks nice. I'm just doing something just visually appealing. And like, as in creatively, not like bikini. And sometimes it's very much, I'm leaning more into personal experience and story to connect. So based off of what the product is or what the goal is, you have to know which side of a person are you tapping into. Now, there are folks as well who lean very much into the creator sort of creation where, you have some amazing folks on the platform who can make anything out of drums, who can, do dance challenges. Those folks are not tapping into an emotional story to help convert. They might be tapping more into the creative part. Then there are folks who are just sort of like, especially as you see within the beauty space, there was an influencer who I so much adored. She had been in a burn accident and she was talking about how to do makeup for people who do not have quote unquote perfect skin. She is influencing me with her story. I see that representation. She's not just visually just saying, here's 5 ways to put on lip gloss. So as a brand or even as a client, you have to think through for your own project, for your campaign, what do you need? So if you need someone to convert to sales, it might be leaning into a personal experience. So then you need to tap into their influencer side or focus more on influencers. If it's just a big splashy awareness thing or to just bring attention to, let's say it's, a drink that has a new flavor and you want someone to beatbox with straws, cool. Then you want somebody who's leaning more into the creator side versus the influencer side. Did y'all get that? Or don't make me do it again. Y'all got it? Okay, cool. I practiced in the shower. I was like, I gotta be clear and concise.
Nail it. That was great.
Awesome. And then, I know you've also kind of gone through a big transition, sort of how you started on the platform to how you are now. So how have you allowed yourself to sort of change and develop? Because a lot of times people come onto the platform with maybe a niche saying, I'm this type of influencer, and then they feel like they're in prison. They can never change because maybe you'll lose brand deals or you'll lose your audience. How have you allowed yourself to evolve over the years?
Well, first of all, I'm an artist. That's what I've been training for my whole life, and that's what I've been doing my whole life. And I'm just like evolving with the world, right? And I'm working as an artist, thank God. Like I just did West Side Story, and I just worked on a TV show, and I'm working on my 4th album. But like, artists are using social media as a great tool, and partnerships with brands is just like another way of like income, and also like put yourself out there and like promote things that you're passionate for, that goes with your values. So I happen to be an influencer, so that's why I admire people like you that are so like excellent at what they do, and I'm just like learning from you and all these tips that are so valuable. But in my case, I think it's about creating balance between who I want to be as an artist versus who I want to be as a creator and influencer, and just trying to like merge all of that in my social media. For example, like that's my puppy Sophia. That was her first birthday a week ago. And I think the reason why we have her photos is because I was talking to the Tinuiti team about how I love to create and build new audience. And sometimes if we base success on likes, we're like failing, because now I have a bunch of new followers based on like photos with Sophia.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I check like, wow, so many followers, let me check. And they're all like with their dogs and stuff like that. So, it's really nice to just like share with my followers about my lifestyle and who I am, because they also want to know the human behind the artist. So that's how I identify as an influencer, and I've been doing it and I love it. I love to, there's some artists that are more private. That's not my case. Like, for example, promoting West Side Story, my team, the Disney team was like really specific about what I could and I couldn't post on social media. So in that moment, I had to be a little more quiet. But depending on the project, like it shapes what I'm doing. But what remains a constant is sharing my lifestyle. Yeah. Sharing how am I doing. If I'm on set, maybe the project doesn't allow me to just share what the name of the project, or if it's a platform, or if it's like whatever, and I just like share, I don't know, like a craft service, and I'm like doing something interesting, whatever, like to keep my audience engaging.
Let me ask, do you did you always have that confidence to do that, or for a while? Because I know like for a long time I was straight fashion. And, I remember once I was redecorating my home, and I was like, well, I want to show people how I'm redecorating my home. But then everybody was like, no, but everybody knows you for fashion. Stick to fashion. And I said, why? Because people who like fashion don't live in homes? Like, what?
Yeah.
But did you always feel that confidence to sort of show all parts of you? Or did you have a fear of that, your audience will be like, since when is she the dog girl?
Yeah. I think I've also had a lot of like judgment, like you. I've received that, and I've always, coming from Puerto Rico, like we have a lot of confidence. We're like, we don't mind like talking our, like what we think and sharing. Like that's how I grew up, and I try to, I try my best to adapt to new cultures, but without losing who I am. And I feel like, the world is changing, and now it's not about stick to one thing. It's more about like be you and share who you are. And I think also you can be evolving with the years. And I've been learning. When I was in Puerto Rico, again, I would share I had to share photos every single day to be an active influencer, or to be like, to keep my engagement. Because Puerto Rico, that's the market. You have to be like even 2 posts a day. But when I moved here to New York,
2 posts a day?
2 or 3 posts a day, like a bunch of stories. We're intense, I'm telling you, but in a good way. We love that. But when I moved here and I started working on Broadway, and I started like working on film, like I could feel that some of my castmates were like, oh my God, you post so much. Like, do you have a life? And I'm like, am I being judged here? Like, what's happening? And I'm like, but yeah, it's about understanding the environment. That's important. You have to know your audience, right? It's like, you have to know where you're speaking, like the people that you want to get to their heart. So I was like, okay, then I have to start making a balance because now I'm in the States. So let me just like rephrase my social media, start like using other tools, maybe be more mysterious, and depending on the project, you know, I also shape what I'm doing.
And I think why that's important as brands is a lot of times, you know, first of all, some folks will come in the email like, we're such big fans of y'all, and you know, we've been following you for a while. I'm the one who's like, okay, then let me give you a quiz. What year was my dog born? If you've been following for so long. But I think what's super important is being able to look at the influencers that you're tapping into as a whole person. Don't just say, because of this product, I want to only tap into this side of them, and then you'll ask them, you know, you want to see, does your audience like my product? No, every part of a creator and an influencer is an opportunity to grab a new audience. And I think that's what a lot of people forget. If you're only finding folks because of their follower count, you're missing out on tapping into key audiences that follow them for different things. And I think a lot of times, let's say you're working on a campaign and it's for, let's say, sports. It doesn't mean just go get a sports person, because sports people wear clothes too. They eat, they travel. You have to think about them as a whole person and not just specifically down to one niche, because they have audiences that, you know, you can still tap into, pull in new audiences for your products. I think that's super important.
You know that I have a bullet point here that it says, I thought about it last night. It was like, important to hire people with different point of views, different backgrounds, because it will expand your audience. It will take you to places that you as a brand never imagined. So how wonderful that is. You know, like sometimes like we just want to hire the people that are super trendy and they just like charge a lot of money to make one post, and maybe you could find you can support you know, new influencers, new people that are like creating really cool content, and you'll have like a broad like opportunity to really expose your brand and to get to new different people. So I think that's very important what you just said. It's really valuable.
Okay, I think we got to bring us home. Are y'all tired of us yet?
You can. I don't know if this is in the script, but if someone has a question.
Oh, I haven't been following the script. Oops, sorry.
Like if you have any question or curiosity or something that you want to share with us, we're here. Yeah.
I think even as we wrap up, I think the final thing I want us to touch on is the value of influencer content, because what's happening is a lot of marketers are kind of feeling like, oh, is it just a buzzword? Are we over this yet? I mean, first of all, I'm just going to give shout out to QR code, because we thought QR code was done and it's back. So it's sort of this idea, ooh, are we clapping for QR code? Somebody felt that one with a fashion. So I think it is really reminding yourselves that influencer, just like marketing, will continue to evolve. How you thought about it last week is not going to be what it's like this week. And it really is that who you thought influencers were, you thought maybe before it's just folks to smile with your products. No, now they're evolving into creative directors. They're writing scripts. They are collaborating. Collaboration is no longer just, I'm emailing you and I'm bringing you onto my campaign. Collaboration is also saying, let's talk about what the goals for this brand are and how we can leverage you, your skill set, and your audience to tell that story. So it really is showing influencers and creators some respect, because you know they have knowledge too, knowledge that it's kind of like sometimes social media is the biggest focus group. Instead of having all these several, it's like ask them to talk to their audience. They know their audience inside out. They know what their audience wants, and if they don't know, they can ask the audience. A lot of times I'll use the question sticker almost as a survey to ask my audience, you know, have you heard of this brand before? Yes, no. Based off of this, you know, partnership and this video I just showed you, are you considering them? Yes, no. Those are results that you can deliver, and you can have your creator also tap into some of those resources to learn more about their audience to help you then scale your campaigns better. So it's sort of like I feel like I've been sent from the heavens above to speak on both sides so that creators and brands can have better partnerships.
Also, I feel like creating different ways of promoting that is not necessarily like, this is my brand and this is my mission. This is like, I remember working with a hair brand, and I cut my hair in national TV to donate my hair for a great cause. Like it was like to make wigs for cancer survivors.
Wow.
And that was a very meaningful campaign for me, for the brand, and it touched so many lives, you know. And I'm sure everybody that witnessed that campaign, even the little girls that donated like lines and lines, I was crying. Wow. Seeing these little girls with virgin hair, cutting their hair just to help out. So there's so much we're doing with that campaign. You're promoting your brand in a different way. You're helping, you know, a greater cause. You're like supporting an influencer. You're like supporting. It's just like a win-win. So there's so many ways to promote yourself without just using the same old ways. So again, collaboration, creativity. That nowadays, that's everything, right? And I love social media because people are being more creative and putting their creativity in something positive. Even youth, like, it's so great that, you know, you have them just sharing dance and using it in a cool way. You know, they're putting their talent there, so let's support that.
Yeah. Well, I want to just say, first of all, thank you.
Thank you.
I want to just give a shout out to y'all. Y'all the best audience. When I look left, right, I was like, people are head nodding. I didn't pay them to do that, but I support y'all. Thank you. And thank you so much for your time. You can still catch us on the social medias. We're on there every day, unfortunately. Sorry in advance. But thank you for your time, and have a great rest of the day.